Hey, it's Drew Neiser with another Tuesday tip. Today, we've been talking about customer marketing in all aspects. It's kind of a broad term, but we talked about customer success. We talked about community building, lots of other good things in there. So with that, Adriel Sanchez, CMO of New Zealous. Adriel, what's your tip?
Don't forget about your users in your customer marketing program. It's really tempting to focus on the folks that are the buyers and are ultimately signing the checks, but your users can be really, really powerful if they're extremely satisfied with your offering.
Yeah, I mean, and those are the folks that sort of advocate up. And when the buyer goes back and says, hey, are you using it? They say, yes, we are, and we love it. Okay, Heidi Bullock, Tealium, what's your tip?
My tip is customers are your most valuable asset. I think a lot of people in marketing think about acquisition, but customers are the most critical. And I think the thing that I think about is how you can be the most helpful to them. So I always think about communicating to them in-app, because I think a lot of people get overwhelmed by email and other channels. So work in the way that's the most convenient for them and be helpful.
Thank you for pointing that out, because one of the reasons that we're talking about this is if there is a recession, it's going to be all about hugging your customer and keeping them involved. And one advantage that a software company like yourself has is that you do have an application that they're using. So communicating through the app. Okay, next up, Jeff Otto of Marqeta. Jeff, what's your tip?
Well, Drew, I would say my tip is when you're building out and nurturing the development of your customer marketing team, don't forget about the critical selling skills required to run that funnel effectively. Selling the value exchange, making sure that customers understand the type of brand lift that we can deliver by doing joint customer marketing. I think that's a critical skill set to develop.
So a lot of folks sort of distinguish in customer marketing between, we'll call it customer success, and it's sort of a sales role. So help me understand, because you mentioned selling, and that means we're trying to upsell or cross-sell them. And Heidi and Adriel were talking about service. And so I want to get help me understand how we keep those straight.
I'm actually not talking about cross-sell, upsell in this case. What I'm talking about is the value exchange of doing customer journey marketing with an account. So convincing the executive team, the PR leadership, et cetera, at one of your customers to commit to the resources to support a customer marketing program, all of the content associated with that.
Got it. Okay. And while we're here, let's talk about that, because I think, how do you do that? So Heidi, how do we get management to fully embrace the value of developing a customer marketing program?
I think it's in the numbers, right? So for a lot of organizations, that's really where growth comes from. It's making sure that you're retaining customers and then growing that. And I think when you can show the numbers and the data, there's your argument right there. And I think, again, like a lot of marketers, you go to a lot of companies and you see the customer marketing teams, like 2 folks, and the demand gen team is like 40. That's not the right picture, right? So I think if you just show the number and the potential, and like we talked about, I think with some of the trends we're seeing in the economy, doubling down on customers makes complete sense in so many ways.
Yeah, boy, if that math were accurate at a lot of companies, and they did see 40 salespeople and 1 customer success person, you got a problem.
Yeah, not uncommon.
Yeah, but not uncommon, because a lot of these software companies are funded and people are just looking at top line growth. And if that's 70, 80, 90% net new logos, then that's where the organization is going to face. All right, Adriel, last licks on this topic.
I think where folks struggle a lot is like, what is the message for customers versus what is the message for new business? And what's the Venn diagram that is the message for both, right? Because there's a lot of overlap. The things that are great for new business are also really, really great for customers. So really be crisp about the additional things that you want to say to customers, or how you want to tune your message for customers.
Yeah. And I think what we heard universally in this conversation, when we're talking about customer marketing, we're talking about how you can be helpful, how you can help them advance their lives or their careers or whatever in some way that makes them feel good. Okay. That is your Tuesday tip. If you are a CMO who can share, care, and dare with the best of them, like these folks, check out CMOHuddles.com. We're offering a free guest pass this month. All right. Check it out. I'm Drew Neiser. That's your Tuesday tip. Peace out.